Hey pal, did you know Final Fantasy XIV is a multiplayer game? Those characters running around, they actually have real people controlling them. And at the heart of it, MMOs are social in nature, where your experience is directly impacted by those you meet. These interactions be as simple as a little wave when you join a dungeon to extensive player-ran events that have deep grass-rooted communities. However, there's another group of players who interact with you not by talking or participating in anything, but by leaving their computer to have their character idle in place. You see, in this game, there is no idle logout timer that will kick you after a certain amount of time, so you're free to never log out as long as you have an active subscription. You might notice a lot of players take advantage of this by parking their character in place and never leaving, most commonly in Limsa. A lot of these people fall into the background, as they're usually similar to most other characters with their basic e-girl glamour. However, some players are so dedicated to their craft of standing in a single place that they become a widely noticed feature within their server. In this video, I'm going to take you through some of the best examples of these players. Number 8. On our first stop, we are visiting Adamantoise. In this Aether data center, we find a Luigi, an Elezen who hangs outside the Maelstrom headquarters. He is dressed as Waluigi while doing the step dance emote. As you can tell, this is quite a popular AFK who is often visited by the locals of Adamantoise as a place to hang out. The spot that Luigi AFKs in is noticeable as it's far away from the Limsa Aetheryte that most people gather around, and you would likely not notice this player unless you visit the Maelstrom headquarters a lot. Certainly an AFK I recommend checking out, as there are usually some friendly people gathered about, and it's a surprisingly wholesome experience. Number 7. In our next stop, we travel to Cactar by the Limsa Aetheryte to check out Diaval. This guy is always in the same spot wearing the butler's outfit with demon wings. The emote he does is the Simulation M emote, which you got if you bought a figurine of Omega from the Square Enix store a while back. Diaval is one dedicated AFKer. I've never seen this man move in a single time I visited Cactar's Limsa Aetheryte, and I'd feel like something would be missing here without him, like a empty spot in one's heart. Number 6. Since we're already in Cactar, might as well head over to Ul'dah. I know this ain't Limsa, but people AFK all over Eorzea. If you limit yourself to one place, you might miss out on some neat stuff. Here we have Sono Fallage, who's a dead Lalafell hanging outside the Aetheryte Plaza of Ul'dah. Some may wonder how you can die in this city, as there's no hostile mobs. Well, you see, Sono Fallage is a blue mage who is able to equip multiple abilities that are fatal to oneself. Besides that, there's not much to say. This Lalafell is always laying here dead. So let's change data center to Crystal. Number 5. In the same spot as Sono Fallage and Brynhildr is William B, another Lalafell that you can see is always playing music. He is always here, but he's also sometimes joined by another known AFKer who is an Elezen who dresses up as Link. The music he plays changes depending on recent events and happenings. For example, for the release of Persona 5 on PC, he played music from the Persona series. And it's always a pleasure to come here, as people in Crystal are a bit more talkative and social. I'll let you decide if that's a good thing or not. Number 4. Hopping over to Marlborough, we are met with a wall of Lalafells. Dear God. As you can tell, these demonic creatures are planning on taking over the entire world. This proves they're all part of one linked hive mind, communicating to each other through dots. Anyway, this is a site you will always be met with on Marlborough. It has no single one AFKer, but is a collective effort, as there are always Lalas doing the songbird emote on the bridge leading to the market boards. Who knows why, but I guess you have to be a Lalafell to figure it out. After a quick stop in Crystal, we head on over to the Primal Data Center. Number 3. Here in Fameret, we see an entire organized group of similarly named characters. They all have Jade in their name, and they're all wearing blue carbuncle ears. This group has been here for quite some time and often rearranges the position of their accounts. I remember a few months back, somebody made a bunch of male Rogadin called the Weeaboo Police to stand in front of this group and block the view. Quite the sight to behold, but I wonder if all the accounts are owned by a single person, because it would have taken ages to play through Endwalker like 13 times. Number 2. Here on the Ultros server, we find Tank Program, a dead Rogadin. Unlike Sono Fallage, Tank Program is only using the Feint emote. But what makes this special is the other AFKers that this man has attracted. Here to the side we got Human Corpse, a fellow dead AFKer laying beside Tank Program, along with Princess Alice. I would like to think that this scene tells a story about Tank Program's heroic struggle and how he fought bravely to defend a princess. And now we see the end of the story where he lay successfully in triumph, but in a sad state. Number 1. This might be due to my bias as a Leviathan player, but I think Ismozia is the most prolific AFKer. He is, and has always been, on the Limsa Bridge doing the Mandeville dance while wearing a Speedo. I can find evidence that this player has been AFKing here for years, and I've never seen him leave this spot, with exception to the Endwalker's release. And if you do your research online, you can see references to this guy dating all the way back to 2016. I can only imagine how much this man has spent extra on his power bill to keep his character AFK, but I guess it's now paying off now that a random person is making a niche video about characters that stand still in a video game. In conclusion, this whole thing is quite odd, but I guess enjoyment can still be gained by visiting these players in-game